Welcome to this explainer. Listen, right now, we are living through a massive, fundamental shift in the professional world. Pretty much everyone has heard of AI by now, right? But honestly, very few people actually know how to unlock its true potential. So today, we're completely stripping away the heavy jargon for a total crash course on how to move from just knowing AI theory to actually building with these tools. We're going to demystify this entire space so you can take this tech and practically apply it to your own career.
Okay, here is a quick look at our agenda for today. We're going to cover the AI skills gap, the evolution of AI, mastering prompt engineering, practical AI with some really cool startup use cases, the power of AI agents, and finally, growing through the struggle. We'll build a solid conceptual foundation first and then jump into a relatable business scenario to show you exactly how to stack these tools.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the AI skills gap.
So check out this number, 66%. The crucial takeaway here is that 2 out of 3 companies now flat out refuse to hire candidates who don't have AI skills. Meanwhile, 90% of people still don't really know how to use AI to its full potential. Sure, they might dabble with basic chatbots, but they definitely aren't using it as a serious professional lever. Look, if you're only tapping into 1% of what AI can do by just casually chatting with it, you are falling behind. But by mastering the practical applications we're about to dive into, you're essentially handing yourself the keys to the top tier of the workforce.
Moving right along to Section 2, the evolution of AI. To truly master these tools, we've got to understand how we got here. And looking back at the last few decades reveals a pretty massive leap. Back in the 90s, we had rule-based AI. Think of a basic ATM. You press withdraw, it gives you cash. It just follows strict rules, right? Then jump to the 2010s. Deep learning gave us things like facial recognition on our smartphones by mimicking neural networks. By 2022, large language models and generative AI absolutely exploded into the mainstream. Suddenly, the system could create entirely new text, images, and code from scratch. And now, as we look toward 2025, we are entering the era of AI agents. This is the truly awe-inspiring part, guys. We're talking about systems that don't just generate content but actually make autonomous decisions.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3. Mastering prompt engineering.
This is absolutely crucial because an AI is really only as good as the instructions you give it. There is a world of difference between giving a basic contextless command versus using a structured framework to get exactly what you need. Direct prompting is just asking a flat question like, write a blog post about coffee. The AI has no idea who the audience is, what the tone should be, or what your ultimate goal is. But structured prompting, that completely changes the game by giving the AI a specific persona and a firm set of boundaries. To really nail this, you want to use this 5-part structured prompt framework every single time you interact with an AI. Step 1, give it a role. Tell it, act as a senior content marketer with 10 years of experience. Second, the context. Tell it you're launching an organic coffee brand aimed at health-conscious Gen Z. Third is the task. Write an engaging 300-word blog post. Fourth, the constraints. This is huge. What shouldn't it do? If you don't want it sounding like a boring corporate robot, tell it to strictly avoid corporate jargon like best in class. And finally, the format. Specify that you want H1 and H2 headers. When you start communicating like this, you instantly level up from being a casual user to a true AI director. Okay, Section 4, Practical AI, Startup Use Cases. Let's actually put this to the test. Knowing the theory is great, but deploying it to build something real is where the absolute magic happens. Imagine we're launching a healthcare startup together. Instead of relying on just one tool to do everything, the real secret is stacking different AIs to execute a massive project. I mean, you wouldn't use a hammer to cut wood, right? Same goes for AI. For deep market research, we stack Perplexity with Google's Notebook LM to synthesize our data. Need a pitch deck with full financial projections? Gamma AI is phenomenal for that. And to actually build a working mobile app or website landing page without writing a single line of code yourself, tools like Google AI Studio and Lovable are total game changers. And as we're building our startup, we figure out pretty quickly that different tools have different superpowers. For example, if we're crunching thousands of rows of patient feedback data, we might find that Gemini gives us incredible, deeply written explanations of the core issues. But Claude might generate vastly superior graphs and visual presentations of that exact same data, which makes it way easier to present to our investors. A true AI professional knows how to leverage both to get the absolute best end product. Combining them makes you a builder, not just a user.
Then, once our core startup is built, we can seamlessly spin up all our marketing assets and promotional videos, zero technical background required. We can jump right into Google Labs to create a full branding kit with website banners and mobile mockups. After that, we use Meta AI to instantly generate promotional video clips showing off our new patient monitoring features. We can even use AI to generate the background music directly in the workflow. Think about that for a second. You are essentially acting as an entire creative agency, powered completely on your own.
All right, Section 5, the power of AI agents.
So, what happens when we need to automate our healthcare startup's daily operations? We certainly can't sit at our computers doing manual data entry all day long. This brings us to the ultimate frontier of this technology, the cutting edge where systems don't just think, they act on our behalf. A standard language model is kind of like an encyclopedia. You ask a question, you get text. But an AI agent? That is like a highly capable digital employee. If you tell an agent to book a flight to Tokyo, it doesn't just tell you how to do it. It searches the web, compares the prices, selects the best option, and actually executes the action for you.
Let's walk through an actual multi-agent workflow where we use Zapier to completely automate our patient appointment emails. Imagine a new patient registers on our website and their info drops into a Google Sheet. Boom, that's our trigger. The AI agent instantly recognizes this, commands Gmail to draft a highly personalized email with their specific appointment time and a meeting link, and sends it. That entire workflow just runs in the background 24/7. Your startup is operating, communicating, and serving customers with literally zero human effort required for those repetitive tasks. It's amazing.
Finally, Section 6, growing through the struggle.
We've covered an incredible amount of ground today, but there is one final, absolutely crucial lesson you need to take away from this explainer, and honestly, it has nothing to do with software. It has everything to do with your mindset. There is a famous saying, if you cut open a cocoon to help a butterfly escape, it will never fly. The struggle of breaking out is exactly what gives its wings the strength to soar. The exact same principle applies here. It is incredibly tempting to let AI do absolutely everything for you, to let it do the planning, the thinking, the execution, while you just sit back. But avoiding the hard work of learning the fundamentals, that's like cutting open that cocoon. If you don't struggle through the learning process of how these prompts and workflows actually function, you'll become entirely dependent on the tool. You won't be a builder, you'll just be a passenger, unable to fly in your own career.
So, the choice is entirely yours. Will you rely on AI to just do the work for you? Or will you embrace the friction of learning to truly earn your wings? Remember, AI is not going to replace humans. Humans who know how to use AI will replace those who don't. So challenge yourself. Sit down, experiment with these tools, push past that initial confusion, and start building your future. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious and keep learning.